Hello and welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine returning after quite a long break. But yeah, I have a weekly reading here for you guys for the week of May 5th. This is a general collective reading, so as always, please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I feel like this energy here is going to be kind of around both Pluto going retrograde and the 5/5 portal that's coming up tomorrow, as I'm going to be posting this evening here. So I'm curious to see what comes out. Well, I don't even know if this video will actually make it onto YouTube. I feel so rusty being at this table right now. I pull readings for myself on a regular basis, but obviously have not done this for you guys for quite a few months. So what message do you have here for the folks in this collective? The Chariot, that's awesome. That when I was in my coaching class yesterday, that card came out for me. The card is all about willpower and having the self-control and the self-discipline to really manage yourself, your thoughts, your emotions. I love the two sphinxes there kind of representing like the shadow and the light. So this feels to me like, I feel like we're in a period of really big manifestation right now. I feel like I'm going through that energy. I feel like I have a lot of friends that are going through that energy. And when you're focusing on a manifestation, it really is important to make sure that you have that self-discipline to kind of focus, and also to, I guess, discipline like the ego noise, right? So when like doubts are coming up, when fears are coming up, if you're feeling like maybe you're not good enough or not doing enough, to really be able to recognize that that's the ego's voice coming up and be able to say like, no, I'm not going to accept that. I don't listen to that. That's not what's going on here. Yeah, the Queen of Wands. She's the Queen of Optimism. She's our fire queen, right? She's happy. She's joyful. She's creative. She's really in the flow. I feel like even the fact that she's kind of looking to the side, for some reason, it's maybe because she's looking towards the flower. It feels to me like she's really deliberately choosing to look in that direction of optimism, of kind of like visualizing, seeing her dreams coming true. It's coming to mind a conversation that I had with a friend earlier today, who was saying that in her manifestation process, she just focuses so much and like really just like visualizes all of the details and focuses on everything that she wants. And it's like she puts so much energy and focus into it that the thing just can't help but be attracted into her reality, right? The thing that she's manifesting just can't help but appear. And I'm feeling that energy here, really having both that determination, that optimism, the determination and like the focus of the Chariot, and then the optimism and the flow of the Queen of Wands. And here's the thing. This is totally a manifestation reading. I love that. So I'm feeling called to say that if you like working with energies at all, this 5/5 portal, which is tomorrow, Monday, May 5th, right? Working with that energy of the 5/5 portal to put your manifestation out there could be extremely beneficial for you. We have the first quarter moon also tonight. So the moon is in the process of getting bigger, right? And moving towards that full moon. So I feel like saying like the combination of the energy of the portal plus that first quarter moon kind of makes it like an auspicious time to be planting those seeds. Even though typically the quote right thing to do, the best thing to do is to plant those seeds during the new moon. I feel like this, like it's not too late. I feel like these are seeds that you already have planted if you're in this collective. This is something that you've been working on manifesting. But I feel like kind of checking in with it, or maybe adding some extra energy to it, would be beneficial. I'm super drawn to the yellow on all of the cards. So the yellow behind him, the yellow in her robes, and then the yellow of this pentacle just feels like a lot of sun energy for me. in terms of like that brightness, that cheeriness, that optimism, that positivity, like really taking those dreams that you have and manifesting them into reality and kind of having like this beautiful light like shining on them. Yeah, that's awesome. Ooh, this is like a super juicy reading. I really hope that you're in this collective, and I hope that for me too. The World is the successful completion of a cycle. So this Ace of Pentacles and the World, in light of this manifestation, really feels to me like this is literally the hand of God, like handing you the thing that you've been trying to manifest. It feels like, because it's a pentacle, it's earthly. And for me, that can mean money. It can mean a new house. It can mean a new job. And it can mean a relationship, because a relationship is like that love of the universe made manifest, right? Like through our physical selves. It's really beautiful. So I just want to say that it kind of cast a wide net. Like, just because it's a pentacle, I don't necessarily think that it's money, although it absolutely could be that if that's what you've been trying to manifest. But this just to me feels like any dream that you have, any wish that you have that you're trying to bring manifest like on that earthly level, that's that. And this woman's even like looking over towards the pentacle. I love the wreath around her. I don't know if it's supposed to be laurel, but that's what it's reminding me of, is like in ancient Greece, right? They would put the laurel wreaths on the athletes who won. So it feels like a victory energy. Ooh, we got a card that scooted. We got 2 cards, 3 that scooted. It feels like a victory energy to me that's really surrounding her. It feels also very protected, like she's kind of able to dance freely, you know, in this really free, open state in the middle of the sky, but she's protected by like this beautiful wreath. I feel like that's important for you to know, that you have like divine protection right now. So we have the King of Swords, the 7 of Cups, and the Empress. I'm really drawn to the Cups and the Empress also having that gold, like that golden sunny energy. So this feels like you getting clear logically on what it is that you want to manifest. So the message that I'm getting from this 7 of Cups is almost like this energy for you right now is so supportive and so conducive to like helping you make your dreams come true. I'm almost seeing, this is like a weird analogy, but I feel like I'm seeing like a slide with like Crisco or like oil on it, something, right? So like you're a little kid and you're going down the slide and you don't realize that there's like something greasing it up and it's like really slick, right? And you just go, woo, and it's like extra easy to slide. So I feel like there's something sort of like greasing up the opportunities coming in that makes them kind of slide extra easy. It's like a silly analogy, but I just see this little kid like sliding down a slide really fast. So I feel like getting clear, logically clear with this King of Swords card around what it is that you want to bring in. So like I said, I feel like this is a manifestation that a lot of you have already been working on and you're like already pretty clear. If you're not clear, make sure that you get clear. And I feel like the other piece of this is, again, really making sure that you are kind of in command of your thoughts, right? And keeping those thoughts that are supportive of the manifestation. So nurturing those thoughts, right? The thoughts that I'm going to be successful, sort of the visualization of seeing it, being deliberate about releasing the manifestation to the universe with no expectations, right? But yeah, like getting clear on what it is that you want to create, because it's like the world is your oyster. There's so much that you could create right now. And I feel like this Empress energy is just that lovely energy of like planting the seeds and having that fertility. I'm really feeling like that kind of fertile mother energy, related to the World card, actually, with that wreath, where there's kind of like this protection. It almost feels to me like this card, she's like kind of in a womb a little bit, but kind of allowing that manifestation to grow. Yeah, that feels really beautiful. It's like I don't know if you believe in like spirit guides or angels or your ancestors or like whoever you would kind of speak to for spiritual support, I feel like they want to help you. So feel free to call them in. Particularly, I'm feeling like if you have any female ancestors who you work with, or like maybe a grandmother who's passed away, or like a great grandmother or something like that. I'm feeling like for at least some of you, there's somebody out there, in the spirit plane who wants to support that for you. This is really beautiful. I'm getting distracted by how lovely that energy is. It feels like it just feels like fertility and ripening. And I feel like that's so supported by this time of year as well. With like the springtime, it's literally what it represents, right? It's sort of like the ripening, the blossoming of those seeds, and kind of being able to start to see sort of the results of that physical growth on the earth, bringing it kind of out of your imagination and onto into reality. It's really cool. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to shuffle those again. All right. This side is the advice. I was hoping that this would come out. I've been channeling this energy. I told you guys that with all the yellow. That's so lovely. So this is the advice. It's been so long that since I've done this, I'm a little bit out of my rhythm. This side is usually the situation, right? So if there's like a problem or whatever it is that the universe wants to talk to us about, kind of goes on this side for me. On this side is the advice. And I feel like all the advice that I already gave you is exactly spot on. I'm like drawn to so many things right now. I feel like this red banner is reminding me of this kind of couch that the Empress is sitting on. It feels again like support to me because she's kind of being like supported by this couch. This wall to me feels very similar to the wreath in the world, where it's really just that protection, right? Like this little kid can be free and happy in this little garden area with his pony because there's this wall here and he's really protected. The sunflowers go right back to that sunflower in the Queen of Wands hands, right? She's got this that I mentioned, she's kind of looking towards it. Success and optimism. I feel like if you do any visualization at all, the universe is really looking to support you through that. It's like really lovely. I'm so happy that the sun came out. It's so funny. I was totally channeling that. The Nine of Wands. There's like a lot of spontaneity energy here. The Knight of Wands and the Sun is an interesting combination. It's a lot of fire and a bit of impulsivity. So I feel like you're being invited to temper that a bit. Let me feel that for a second. I'm distracted by the Six of Cups here as well. It's such a gentle energy compared to the Knight of Wands. I kind of feel like, here's what's coming up. If you're feeling frustrated at all or a little bit hot-headed that this thing that you're trying to manifest has not come in yet, I feel like you're being invited to feel those feelings, right? Acknowledge that you feel that way. All of your feelings are valid and it's safe to feel them. And also be willing to move through them and to release them. I'm super drawn to the fact that he has the salamanders on his robe. They're related to fire. They're like a fire sign animal, but I was just on a hike the other day and I saw a lizard. And lizards are like really auspicious symbols. I feel like, I don't know, this is really cool. I feel like whoever's in this collective, you got something wonderful coming in. So anyways, if there's any kind of hot-headedness or like frustration, I feel like you're really being invited to just feel and release that. And the energy of the Six of Cups in comparison is like so peaceful. Like what I'm actually drawn to in this card is the sound, which maybe sounds kind of funny, but when I like imagine myself in this card, I feel like this little village is just silent. and there's maybe just like the footfalls of this little guard or whatever, like walking away. It's another feeling of being like very safe and very protected. I think it's important that we have like 2 cards of kind of innocent children here. This could be something that's like a childhood dream for you, or that you've been trying to manifest since childhood. So I'm definitely feeling that, feeling and releasing any of the frustration, the anger, like those sort of fiery, impulsive feeling emotions, and really coming to a place of peace where like this kid is handing this girl the cup, like she has it, right? We kind of moved from like the Ace of Pentacles, which is that hand of God holding out the pentacle, this guy who's overwhelmed by like all of his cups, right? But this little girl is actually like physically receiving that cup now. So I'm feeling called to say that again. Like if visualizing resonates for you at all, I feel like visualizing yourself receiving this manifestation is so powerful in this energy. Another thing I'm feeling called to say is that if writing resonates for you, if you're more of like a writer than a visualizer, just write. Just start writing about what your life will be like when this thing arrives. So let's say, for example, that it's a new job, and you're imagining, getting a promotion and a salary increase. And so write about that. What will it be like when you're in this new role, and what will you do in that role? And, how will you help people? And what will that increase in salary do for you? Will you be saving for a new home? Will you finally be able to go on vacations, right? Like really just write it as if it's already happened. Like I love my new home. I love my new car. I love my vacations, whatever it is. I love that I'm in this position of power, that now I'm able to help people more. So visualizing, writing as if it's already happened, because I feel like that's what the universe is inviting you to kind of get in that energy of like you actually like receiving that gift, right? That manifestation. Strength. That's awesome. All the yellow here, yellow is like a really auspicious color in the tarot. Like all of the best cards have yellow. Maybe not all of them, but almost all of the best cards have yellow. It's done on purpose. It's just making me think of like gold, something so beautiful and bright and shiny, and like you can't miss it, This isn't an opportunity that's going to get messed up. I feel like you're just being invited to keep that positivity and maintain that optimism, and it's like inevitable. The universe is literally handing it to you, right? The Strength card is reminding me a lot of what I said around the Chariot, where that Chariot is around that determination, that focus, and also that self-control, right? Like really being very firmly disciplined. The Strength card it's a lot more gentle. It's kind of vibing off the gentle energy that I was getting from that Six of Cups, but it's really inviting you to sort of tame the ego. That's the entire purpose of this card, right? This phase in the Fool's journey is that she is taming that lion, not by fighting with it, but by recognizing it, by setting boundaries, by giving it love. You don't have to waste your love on ego. It doesn't really do much, but loving yourself by kind of going to the places within yourself that are wild, right? That feel maybe a little out of control. I feel like the color of the lion is bouncing off the Sun and the Knight of Wands here. Like I was saying about those like fiery, impulsive emotions. So again, really going to those places if you're feeling frustrated or angry, really going to those places, feeling those feelings, and then like releasing them, right? And filling that space within you with peace, instead of that kind of fiery feeling. I feel like, yeah, it's awesome. So we have the Tower. A lot of, well, I don't even want to say a lot. I think quote, traditionally, the Tower can be like a bad card. I don't personally believe that any cards are bad cards. So I think that that's very silly. I'm actually drawn to the crown here. I'm drawn to the yellow aspects. We've been talking about fire. We've been talking about the yellow color. The Tower for me, especially in the context of a reading like this, where it's so profoundly positive, I feel like it's just saying that it's going to happen fast. And I feel like the Tower and the Knight of Wands is both like that fast, kind of sudden movement. And the Tower in particular talks about it being a little unexpected. So the message that I'm getting from this is to cultivate an open mind in terms of how this manifestation comes in. I'm drawn again to that image of like a little kid going down like a slicked up slide or whatever, and like how fast and spontaneous and like unexpected that would be, right? I don't know, like maybe the job offer ends up not being quite what you expected, or maybe it's like another company that gives you an offer kind of out of nowhere, right? But as you kind of learn about it or talk about it, it ends up being like your dream job. This is such a cool energy. Yeah, I feel like that's really important. Is an important part of manifesting, right? Is you get really clear on what you want. You get really clear on putting that out there to the universe, but then an important piece is completely releasing attachment to it. So it doesn't make the universe work faster or understand you better. If you're like, hey, universe, remember that job I asked for? Hey, is it coming yet? Hey, remember that job? I want that job, right? And it's kind of like a little kid being like, mom, 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 mom. The universe doesn't need that. It understood you the first time, right? Your job is sort of to hold space for it and keep the faith. And I feel like what this Tower card is asking you to do is have an open mind and trust the universe. So you might have a certain way that you want this thing to go, this manifestation that you have. Like maybe you want a bunch of money and you think you're going to win the lottery, but maybe instead like a relative, opens a trust for you or something, right? So like really being open to receiving what it is that you're asking for in a different way. I feel like I just keep hearing the word open-minded, open-minded. So keeping an open mind and letting the universe work its magic for you. I'm kind of surprised. Why am I channeling that? I feel like the Four of Wands energy, I don't know that it's anywhere significant. Yeah, it's not. I wondered if it was on the... I'm feeling like the Four of Wands, where it's that feeling of a joyful surprise. Kind of letting the universe surprise you. It's like fun. And it's whatever it is that's coming in, it's like very positive. This is a fun reading to come back and do. Love that. All right. We got 2 angel numbers. We got energy levels, 2121, prosperity, harmony, journey, waiting, discipline, exaggeration, the opposite sex. That day you're waiting for will come. Maintain discipline. You're getting closer to your end goal. There's no need to overextend yourself. Guard your energy to remain focused. It will pay off. It's a climb, not an elevator ride. Trust in you. I love that. I feel like that discipline is exactly what we were talking about with the Chariot and even a bit with the Strength card. I like what it said about not overextending yourself, because this feels to me like it's a ripening that's happening. It doesn't, like I was just talking about that. The universe doesn't need you to say over and over and over again, hey, universe, did you hear me? Hey, universe, remember how I want this, right? It's really just about putting your order out there into the universe and then surrendering it completely, and not making sure that you're not being like in a controlling energy about it. This is lovely. The part about guarding your energy is interesting, because I kept getting that feeling of you being protected with like the World, with the Wall here and the Sun card, and then that 6 of Cups. So I do feel like there's something there for that like you are protected. And also, like I had said, maybe consider calling in, like if you have ancestors, angels, spirits that you work with, I feel like they want to help protect you and this coming in for you. But yeah, if you do any sort of like shielding or anything like that, that might be helpful at this time. And then we have 1010. It's up to you. Moderation, patience, flow, clarity, joy, movement, self-realization, taking action, unconditional love. It's time to put those long-cherished ideas into action. You will soon come into contact with the appropriate individuals, circumstances, and resources. Eventually, you will experience joy as well as brand new opportunities. Trust in the process. Yeah, I feel like trust in the process is all of this, right? Again, really just turning your manifestation over to the universe, and letting the universe bring it to you. I felt like it's gestating, right? With these cards over here, I said it feels kind of like being pregnant or like a pregnancy. And think about that. Like if you're pregnant, you're not going to be saying to your baby, like, well, maybe you would say this to it, but you wouldn't expect it to actually happen. Be like, come on, baby, hurry up. You know, you wouldn't want it to hurry up. You would want it to stay for the appropriate amount of time so that when the baby's born, it would be healthy and viable, right? Able to survive. So same thing with this manifestation, to practice some patience. I love what it's saying here about you will soon come into contact with the appropriate individuals, circumstances, and resources. Again, I feel like that's that being open-mindedness that I was getting from the Tower. And also it's just reminding me of like being in the flow. I feel like that's really kind of like a fiery quality, like that spontaneity and that ability to flow. But like I said, you never know how your manifestation will come up. Like what if you're at, out getting a coffee and like the person sitting next to you is the CEO and they like you and they want you to interview for a position, right? So kind of being aware of maybe unexpected people who cross your path or kind of unexpected events or synchronicities. If it resonates for you to kind of follow your heart and your intuition, it might be the thing that kind of allows this to come in, right? So awesome. That was a really beautiful reading to come back to, and I hope it was helpful. And trying to remember what I used to say at the end of my readings. I think I used to say, I hope it was helpful, and I will see you in my next reading. Bye.